Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? This is a perfect week to appreciate Ben Simmons because back in 2016, June 23rd to be exact, the 76ers drafted Ben Simmons number 1 overall. Fast forward 2 years. Yes, that is correct. 2 years because he sat out the first year after he was drafted with a foot injury. He won Rookie of the Year June 25th of 2018, and the debate of if he's a rookie or not a rookie came in, which was such a joke. I mean, it's flat out a joke. He played 0 basketball games the year after he was drafted. Yeah, guess what? He's a rookie. He's a rookie the following season when he steps on the floor. So this whole Donovan Mitchell crap, it was full of garbage. That's what it is. It was a guy who he felt, I don't know, insecure, maybe. Donovan Mitchell felt insecure. It was obvious that Ben Simmons was a rookie. To try and switch the narrative and change how that is viewed, it's laughable. There's no way that a player like Ben Simmons, who was playing in his first NBA season, would not be titled a rookie. And by the way, I dove into some numbers that season. Donovan Mitchell averaged 20.5 points per game. Impressive. 3.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. Very good numbers. Ben Simmons, 15.8 points per game, so obviously he is not as much of a scorer. 8.1 rebounds, 8.1 assists, and 1.7 steals per game. They both had good seasons. Whatever was being talked about, oh, this isn't Ben's rookie year, then what is it? What is it? What is the first year that you play an NBA season called? Please tell me. It's such a sick joke. The whole Ben Simmons discussion in general, it really bothers me because you can be frustrated with Ben Simmons without giving up on him. And the fact that people give up on him at the age of 23, and realistically, they've been giving up on him forever now, really. At 21, 22, people have totally shut the door on Ben Simmons, and that's a disgrace. So let's appreciate what he is. Let's appreciate his play on the floor because it's magnificent. There's holes in his game. He needs to shoot the basketball. He needs to work on his free throws. There's some things that he needs to do. There is a difference between being frustrated with him, knowing he needs to add more, and giving up on the player as a whole when he is very, and I mean very, early into his career. It's a shame. It's a shame that some people can't do that, and it goes back to a word that I use personally with the 76ers that people find a hard time doing, and the word is patience. I am patient. Many people are not. Process to championship. That's what people expect. Reality is, I hate to break the news to you, there's a growing period in between. Sorry. I hate to break the news to you. Sorry. That's how this works. And history proves it. Now, before we dive more into Ben Simmons and appreciating what he does on the basketball floor, this episode of Sports Talk with Broads is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, they are home to solar experts in both residential and commercial projects. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. In addition, they will make sure you receive all the state and federal incentives available for switching to solar. No risk, no investment. Make sure you check out their information in the description. Their website and telephone number is there. Check them out. So, where do we begin? When you look at his stats this season, he only led the league in steals and total steals. Steals per game and total number of steals. His defense is so elite, it's unbelievable. And for a city that is a smart sports city as we are, I feel that doesn't get noticed enough. He plays elite defense. Elite defense. He is so damn good. He can guard a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. And he can defend them well. It's not as if he's a slouch when he has a big man on him. He's so versatile when it comes to defense, and he cares. He cares about defending. People fall in love with scoring. People associate scoring with being the best player ever. There's so much more to basketball, and I feel like we should understand that more. His defense, I mean, we talk about the best defenders in the league, and Ben Simmons gets brought up. Now, how can you give up on that type of talent and motor? Let's talk about his facilitating. 5th in the league in assists per game. He's also 9th in minutes per game, so the guy plays. Now, right now, he's going through the back injury stuff, and Brett Brown said he might not be 100%. Elton Brand said he was optimistic that he'd play. Then you're seeing videos of him dunking all over the place and lifting weights where he looks absolutely jacked, working out with LeBron James. So it seems as if the guy is okay at this point. I don't really know what to believe, but based off of the pictures and the videos, I'll go with that over what Brett Brown and Elton Brand is saying. He's definitely a player who is ready to compete when the bubble comes into play. Now, here's the thing. They've been off for a long time. And every offseason, you expect players to make a jump, right? Have they been off enough in quarantine where you expect players to make that jump? Equivalent to an offseason? Every single summer, you wait for the fall to come around when it comes to basketball season, and you question if these guys are going to actually add and develop. And I wonder if it is okay to expect a little bit of an addition based off of what's happening. Now, this is so unique, it's so different, it's hard to compare it because it's not a traditional offseason. You got to quarantine, you got to stay safe. I mean, it's different. But is it fair to ask, hey, let's add something? And I know everyone thinks it's the jump shot, but I'm not talking about just the jump shot. I'm talking about everything. And he did add to his game for this upcoming year that we just went through before the stoppage, or this past season. I don't even know how to name these seasons anymore. He did add something. His defense took a jump. His facilitating took a jump. What didn't happen, besides a couple three-pointers, was consistent jump shots. And apparently that's all that matters. It matters, but it's not all that matters. If he added a lot to his game but didn't add that one thing, it doesn't mean he didn't add anything. I get the frustration. It's about how people give up on him already, though. And it's a shame because his skill set is actually unbelievable. Nobody really compares to LeBron James, but his playing style does actually compare with the downhill game. With the way that he can attack the rim and the facilitation. LeBron's, 35 years old, and he switched to point guard, and here he is dishing out double-digit assists game in and game out. It kind of reminds me of what Ben Simmons does. I'm okay with trying to utilize him in different ways. Does he have to always be the point guard? No. But you got to make sure that he is being utilized where he does what he does best, which is passing the basketball. If he drives to the lane off a pick, and he's the guy who's setting the pick, and if he's rolling to the basket and he gets the ball going hard to the rim, he can go up, but that can still give him the ball to maybe kick out for a three-pointer. Let's not give up on the kid. Let's appreciate him. 16.7 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, 8.2 assists. 23 years old. Growing period is important. It's like Carson Wentz. Here's a guy who has an unbelievable talent, but he doesn't get the right amount of appreciation. Why is that? It's the same with Ben Simmons. Why? Because you're annoyed and upset that he doesn't shoot the jumper? So am I. But I'm not ready to throw away everything else he can do. Let's take away the fact that this is Ben Simmons. If you had a defender on your team, oh, hold on, isn't that similar to a Matisse Thybulle? People love Matisse Thybulle, this great defender. Ben Simmons is 10 times the defender of Matisse Thybulle. And that's not a knock on Matisse Thybulle. That's just Ben Simmons can do so much on the floor. So why is it you love Matisse Thybulle? Is it because he wasn't a number 1 overall pick? Is it because his name isn't Ben Simmons? I always find it fascinating. People truly foam out the mouth, drool, because they love what Matisse Thybulle does with his hands. He's got quick hands out by the perimeter. He gets steals. He goes on the fast break after that steal and he throws a monster jam. Okay, Ben Simmons does that for every single position on the floor, and as I mentioned, he's ninth in minutes per game, so he's playing consistently. But it's not the same. People don't get the same feel off of it. Why? Because you're frustrated with the jump shot. It's crazy. I feel like you can separate the two. Appreciate his greatness and what he can develop into, and be hard on him. I mean, I'm not saying you can't be hard on him for what he doesn't do. It needs to be added, and it's a flaw, and it hurts the team during certain situations, half-court offenses. I'm not acting as if that isn't important. It is important. But I've seen players in this league develop and grow and add. This is a very unique situation, right? This one's odd. But that doesn't mean it can't happen. There's a reason why he took those corner threes during the games, and it looked smooth, it was in rhythm, and it looked good, and he made them. There's a reason why. To act as if he's too hard-headed to work on them, or he doesn't care, I mean, that's just silly. I actually saw him a few times when I was covering the games for 97.3 ESPN. I was literally on the court pre-game when they were doing their shoot-around. I watched him just make three after three after three after three after three after three from the corner. That didn't just happen. He obviously puts the work in. It's how does that now translate to a game? And it needs to somehow, he needs to somehow get over that hump mentally. No doubt. But that doesn't just happen. Him being able to hit those corner threes, for it to be in rhythm and game and flow, that means he's doing it outside of the game as well. Trust me, this isn't the way I would have drawn it up. If you told me, Broads, you get Ben Simmons, how would you have played it out in your head? It wouldn't be this. It would not be this. But the ceiling is too great to just pass up on. Don't give me, but if you trade him, you get other players. Stop. You don't realize what you have until it's gone. And then you lose a guy who is an elite defender for every position. You lose a guy who, okay, you know what? There are teams who sag off of him. He's giving you almost 17 points per game. The guy can't shoot. 17 points per game. Now, I have Jason Tatum stats here. This season, I know that there was something trending around Twitter the other day. Maybe it was the last week. And it was comparing their careers when it comes to points and assists and rebounds. And I get it, but Jason Tatum took a step last season with points per game. So I think it's important. How about we look at this season? This season that's still currently going on. I keep referring it to last season, but the pause is in play. This season right now that we're in. 23.6 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. And comparing it to Ben, 16.7 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, 8.2 assists. Jason Tatum is growing, and he's becoming a scorer, a guy who's hitting big buckets, and people fall in love with the jump, the guys who can score buckets and the guys who can shoot the basketball. James Harden is another one. James Harden might score you 40 points. He's also giving up 40 points because he can't defend. And I'm not saying Jason Tatum stinks by any means. I'm just putting it in comparison. I like Jason Tatum. I think he's going to be a hell of a player, and I'm excited to see what he grows into because I'm a beauty of sportsman. I want to see these athletes be the best that they can be, and then I want to see my team, the 76ers, try and stop them. Jason Tatum struggles when Ben Simmons is on him, though. You might pull out a highlight here, right? Bros, what about that one play? Okay, what about the other? What about all the others? Ben Simmons can lock down almost anyone in this league. Now, there's a few I'm sure could get their buckets. LeBron, KD, Giannis. Those guys are going to get their buckets. Elite defense only goes so far in the NBA because offense beats defense no matter what. That's reality. But it surprises me how much his defense doesn't get appreciated enough. Someone like Allen Iverson. He was a fun watch. The dude was dropping so many points. He brought this team to that unreal run in 0-1. Beat the Lakers in Game 1. Stepped over Ty Lue. The rest was history. They didn't have enough to win it. Their talent was not good. But he was a lazy guy. He wasn't this dude who brought the energy every day off game day. the practice rant. He was a player who didn't handle himself perfectly off the court, preparing himself for a game. But when the game started, he gave it his all. Why do people love that, but they don't love Ben Simmons? Because he's not shooting the ball, people associate that with he's not working out, he's not trying, he doesn't care, and he's not willing. And I could argue that Ben Simmons has 10 times the motor that Allen Iverson had. Guy's always working. Guy's in the gym. The guy does care. If Allen Iverson had what Ben Simmons had off the floor, whoa. Because look what AI was without it. Ben Simmons is the future of this basketball team. People love Joel Embiid. I love Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons is the future of this basketball team. I think the center position only gets you so far. Joel Embiid doesn't hurt you. Joel Embiid can't win you a title alone. Ben Simmons, I think, could win you a title alone if surrounded by the proper pieces once he gets into the legit prime of his career. Not now. Not at 22, 23 years old. Not now. But when he is ready, in the prime stages of your career, when players dominate the league. Why do people throw away history and what history tells you? History tells you you got to be in that certain age bracket before you specifically start dominating the league. Kawhi, when he won it with the Spurs, that's not what I'm talking about. Kawhi with Toronto, that's what I'm talking about. LeBron, when he started doing it, look at his age. Kevin Durant, I mean, I've been through this. KD, we're talking about arguably people argue he's the best player in the league, right? He's a hell of a player. He's in the conversation at the top. He's not the greatest in my opinion, but he is an unstoppable type of player. He had to join a team of the Golden State Warriors to win the title at that age. That's how hard it is. So I just think at times people are ridiculous with their mindset and what they demand, and I don't think that they let reality settle in. There is a reality. The problem is people don't like the reality, so they pretend that it doesn't matter. It does matter. So appreciate Ben Simmons. We had a Rookie of the Year. We had a player who is number 1 in steals in the league and steals per game. Why does that not get understood? You take that off the court, who's defending those players? What happens when there's a switch? Let's just say Shake Milton is your number 1 point guard. Ben Simmons is no longer out there. How's that going to work? Defensively, no Ben Simmons anymore. It's not a knock on Shake Milton. I'm praising what he does. Do not let that slip. Do not let that go under the radar. How important that is. Look at players' numbers around the league when Ben Simmons is defending. He does not take possessions off on that side. But Broads, he doesn't shoot. It's incredible. It really is incredible stuff. You know? Let's focus on what he doesn't do. Let's not see what he does do. Do you realize players like Furkan Korkmaz gets open because of someone like Ben Simmons? You have your traditional point guards out there. Shake Milton, let's use him as the example. Or Josh Richardson. I'm not saying that Furkan will never get a shot off if somebody else is playing point guard. But the reason why, at times, he is so damn wide open, and he's been hitting that shot at, 40% clip? There's a reason why that is. Because of when Ben is driving, and when he is going downhill, lowering the shoulder, going hard to the rim, everyone has to collapse on him because he's that powerful of an athlete. All right, kick it out to a Furkan Korkmaz. And at home, he's been drilling them. The sad thing is, on the road, not so much. Not so much. And it doesn't help that right now this team is a little bit all over the place. It hasn't been a smooth year. And you got Al Horford, Joel Embiid, him, and the spacing is messed up. Is he a part of that issue? Yes. But it only makes it that much harder when Al is lost and he's not really a 4 and he's playing next to Embiid and the spacing is all whack. It doesn't help Ben. It doesn't help his case. I'm not making excuses for the guy. What I'm saying is, this organization drafted a kid number 1 overall who has a unique skill set, who can be a player that can be at the top of the NBA when we talk about his legit prime. When we talk about him growing enough, learning the game at this level, going through ups and downs, learning what it feels like to take a hard playoff loss, feeling the pressure. There's a ride to this. It's not instant. It's not snap the fingers, okay, the 76ers are going to go win 7 championships in a row. It's not, Brett Brown's not making him shoot. Stop with that nonsense. Ben Simmons has to be willing to do it. It's that simple. And to think that the coach hasn't informed the player to shoot the basketball? Come on. And I'm sure that the Brett Brown haters right now are laughing, going, oh, yeah, he did it. He obviously did it. He probably did it. He did. I can guarantee it. He did. Same with Elton Brand. Same with other people close to him. This isn't rocket science. I think anybody who understands basketball at a high level has told Ben Simmons that at some point you're going to have to work on that. You're going to have to add that. And I think you saw it in minor doses when he did take those 3-pointers. I'm not even all about the 3-point game. It's obvious to me, though, he's comfortable with shooting the ball from the corner spots. That's his most comfortable spot. I'm more about, hey, if we can do a pick and roll from the free throw line area with Joel Embiid, and he can come around and you don't have the defender sagging off, or even if they do sag off because they're not going to trust you, pull up from the free throw line with a mid-range J. That will add so much to this offense. That will add a lot to his game, and it'll just open the floor because at some point, once you drill those shots, now those defenders have to stay up on top of you. And what does that do? That opens up Joel Embiid, either roll in, or it just creates more space if you continue to go around the pick, and it can create a lane. That's what I'm more worried about. And worried really isn't the word. It's just that's what I'm patient with. Patience is key with a 22, 23-year-old point guard in this league with a skill set like Ben. It's wild that the expectations just automatically turned into dominant from day one. And I guess that's what comes with being the number 1 overall pick. I guess that's what comes with being compared to LeBron James's playing style. And you do see it around the league. It's not as if it's only Ben Simmons. Zion Williamson's getting this praise. Anyone who's drafted, Andrew Wiggins had that praise. Anyone who's drafted number 1 overall has that praise going into the season that they are going to be this instant, insane, dominating force. And the reality is that's why they're go back and look over these number 1 overall picks. It doesn't really work out that way, right? The hype is way more than the results from the beginning. And I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because, wait for it, reality. And nobody likes to recognize that there is a reality to this. And it's called growing. It's called experience, developing, adding, learning. And we have that with Ben Simmons. And the fact that his ceiling is so high, how do you want to trade him? There's a few players in this league that I would ever think about trading Ben Simmons for. And one that comes to my head, Damian Lillard. I think Damian Lillard is a dog. I would trade Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard. You go around the league, I'd really have to think. And even the Damian Lillard thing, I'd really have to think about it. But if you want the closest player that I would think about it, and maybe it's that. It's him. Other than that, and that's just off the top of my head, but I'd really have to think about it. Because I am confident in 27, 28, 29, 30, those type of years for Ben Simmons, the league is going to be scared of him. The body structure, the IQ of the game. It's rare. It's rare to find. So I'm here and I'm appreciating him. Although I'm frustrated with him, not giving up on him. It's very simple. You can be disappointed in someone you love. Does that mean you don't love that person anymore? It's just like the family. The family comparison. When your parents are disappointed in you. They obviously still love you. Does that mean they give up on you as a child? No. That's Ben Simmons to this city, and I think the disrespect is unbelievable. So remember, June 23rd of 16, he was drafted, and June 25th of 2018 was when he won the Rookie of the Year, and that is why we are appreciating him, because this happened over the past week. And everyone wants to destroy the tank. We lost for so many years. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We lost for a handful. 3 seasons, and we got Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. And we had opportunities to land other stars as well. We just missed out on those opportunities, but that was the philosophy of Sam Hinkie. Get a lot of assets because you're going to miss on some, but you're going to hit on others. So you're telling me and you stink for 3 years and you get Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons? Sign me up every single time this needs to happen. There are teams still trying to find ways to get through this. Still trying to find ways. The New York Knicks have been tanking for so many years, they can't figure a damn thing out. I think they did a hell of a job. It could have been 7, could have been 8 years. 3 bad years. And some people would rather be competitive for what? A first-round loss to the Bucks if you're the 8th seed with an Iguodala-type squad? Whether the Sixers lose first or second round with this type of talent, that is so different than being in the 8th seed with an Iguodala. The Sixers are in the 6th right now. I get it. This was a bad season for them. There's no sugarcoating it. You have a bad season. Okay. That doesn't mean every season from now on with this team is just going to be miserable and awful. They're having a bad year this year. They have an opportunity, though, to shut everybody up when the bubble returns in Orlando, and we'll see how they go from here. We will see. I don't know what to expect. Nobody really knows what to expect. The Lakers, Avery Bradley, one of their best defenders, a role player who plays 25 minutes, he's out. He's not going to return, and I respect his decision. It's because one of his kids has a sickness, and he's able to get COVID easier than other people. So I respect his decision. But what do you expect from the Lakers now? You lose a role player who plays 25 minutes a night, and he's a great defender. What do you do there? Good defender. Ben Simmons is a great defender. Yeah, Ben Simmons is an elite defender. What am I saying? But you don't know what to expect from anyone, so I have no clue what to expect. I just know that just because they had a bad season this year, that doesn't mean I'm willing to give up on all these players, or I'm willing to start trading Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. Stop it. It's called overreaction. It's called being too emotional. Take some deep breaths, get the brown paper bag, breathe a little bit, and realize what this kid can be. What this kid can be when he gets to the point in his career where it's time to step the hell up. It's inching his way towards that. It's not there yet, though. Joel Embiid, way closer. I start that age at 27. He is getting there. But I don't think a center position can win you a title just like that. It's just not how today's game is played anymore. The big man has a big role. And when you have someone like Embiid or some of the other big men out there, yeah, you can win games and you can win a title with Joel Embiid. Let's not act as if it's impossible, or I'm saying that Joel Embiid's some bad player and he's not worth having or anything like that. When I look at the two, though, it's always been Ben Simmons to me, and I think that is where you're going to win. The problem with my philosophy is by the time Ben Simmons is 27, 28, is Joel Embiid still going to be able to stand upright when it comes to the sport of basketball when you look at his injury history? That's the concern I have. But when you look at who carries the franchise long term, I'm a Ben Simmons guy. Still love Joel Embiid, but it's that position and the way it's played. See, Anthony Davis, he's a big man, but he's a stretch 4. It's different than what Joel Embiid does. Joel Embiid's going to have to take a monster step. He can't be getting shut down by Marc Gasol. That type of stuff, that doesn't result in winning. He needs to dig deeper. That's not a Brett Brown issue. That's him who needs to take a step. That's him who needs to develop. Disappointing season for him, too. But that doesn't mean I'm ready to give up on him long term. Let's sit back, relax, and enjoy what we have. Specifically for this, it's about Ben Simmons. Based off of going back in time this past week and appreciating what he has done to this point in his career. You can pick on his flaws. You can demand more out of him when it comes to those flaws. Don't run him out of town. Don't ask to trade him for Booker or all these other crazy scenarios that fly around. Some of them are straight garbage, too. Makes me laugh. It actually makes me sick more than it does make me laugh. So there you have it. Appreciate him. Moral of the story, appreciate his game and what he is able to do. Just a reminder that this episode of Sports Talk with Broads is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. In addition, they will make sure you receive all the state and federal incentives available for switching to solar. There is no risk and no need for investment. Their information is in the description. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you next time.